Their argument is that these AI models that are trained on these massive data sets of copyrighted work could potentially flood the market with all this AI-generated content.
Okay.
And that content would directly compete with the original works that the AI was trained on and potentially even replace them altogether.
So they're saying that AI-generated content could devalue human-created works and actually lead to economic harm for artists and creators.
Exactly. And they believe that this type of market harm could actually give grounds for lawsuits from publishers and artists and all sorts of creators.
Right.
The argument is that AI should enhance and support human creativity, not replace it entirely.
But how does the pro-scraping side address this whole issue of market harm? What's their counter-argument?
Well, their take is basically that the market will adapt, as it always has with new technologies.
Okay.
They point to historical examples like the printing press, radio, the internet,
Right.
all of which, initially disrupted creative industries, but ultimately led to new forms of creativity and new markets.
So they're saying we need to embrace this disruptive potential of AI and find ways to adapt rather than clinging to old models.
Exactly. And they believe that artists and musicians will find new ways to monetize AI, perhaps through, endorsements or collaborations, or even using AI as a tool to enhance their own creative processes.
Right. So instead of viewing it as a threat, they see it as an opportunity for creative evolution.
Precisely.
It's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
They also argue that trying to restrict AI training data would be like trying to hold back the tide, right?
Yeah. They think it would be totally futile and actually benefit big corporations more than individual creators.
Okay.
They argue that in the context of AI, copyright has basically become this artificial barrier to progress. That it's stifling innovation by clinging to these outdated models of creativity and ownership.
I'm amazed the Copyright Office just didn't say all AI copyrightable content is suitable for training, but by leaving it open, we have to wait a year. And I just can't imagine they're going to crush ChatGPT, Claude, and the whole AI industry with a finding against it. So what will it look like? Well, my guess is that there might be levels of human AI input that they're going to start looking at. So like minimal input, you put a prompt in or two, it doesn't go. And they're already saying that in legal cases in Japan, in China. They're saying that if you actually do more prompting, it shows a little bit, but prompts alone just don't prove human original creation. You need to show that you've done things over and over, iterative, just like software. You're creating, you're editing, you're drafting, showing an effort that you're not just putting it in, coming out and saying that this is original work, because they don't want to be overloaded with 10 million AI images. But where are the lines we draw? This is what we need to say to the AI models going forward. Is there selection like curating? Curating is going to be a big thing with AI because putting together images, assembling a story or a publication, you can get a copyright for and protect yourself and maybe turn it into something that you make a living off of rather than something that is otherwise out in the public domain that anyone can use. Concept, direction, those two things have to be shown. So if you creators out there are doing things, you've got to show this now in your own work, because the big question will come, especially in digital art. Did you use AI to do it? Because a lot of our tools really can't tell. If you're creating something, what do you do that number one shows control and intent, shows that you have an idea of what you're looking for, or at least trying to direct the picture to its ultimate goal, or the writing, that you have something on the end that you're looking for. Otherwise, it is a roulette wheel. Creative choice. Show where you made those creative choices, whether that was choosing a platform, whether that was choosing and curating between different AI images. Were there colors? Were there angles? Were there filters you used? And you need to show a lot more than where you press buttons. I noticed that in the US copyright, they kept looking at the fact that this was just done by AI, that it wasn't created by the person doing it. And the more they asked, it was really hard to discern unless they left AI and did a little bit more tweaking and updating of the image, like Jason Allen's famous image, Teatro de Opera Spatial.